Hi, my name is Jay Shah and welcome to the next video of Basics of Stock Market. So today we have an important topic which is T+2 settlement. So without wasting time, let's start with the video. So today we'll learn about T+2 settlement. So now before understanding T+2 settlement, so in the last video I told you, right, so I explained you the whole logic of LTP and I also explained you, so basically you understood that when you are buying a share, someone else is selling the share, right? Now this whole transaction that you transferred the money to the seller transferred the money, transferred the shares to your account, right? And the trade matched, right? Even the price needs to match for the transaction, right? Both the buyer and seller need to agree at the same price, right? Now all of this transaction, it's very simple for people like us sitting at our home, but what happens at the back end is today we are going to understand in this video. So now what is T+2 first of all? So let's say today is Monday and you bought 10 shares of Reliance today for the price of 2500 rupees per share. So 25,000 rupees of investment and you bought 10 shares of Reliance. Okay. So you paid 25,000 rupees today, but the delivery of shares. So I explained you the concept of Demat account in my second video. I'll also explain it again in today's video. So Demat account is the place where you store your shares in digital format, right? So now, let's say you bought the shares on Monday, right? You bought Reliance shares on Monday, but the delivery in your Demat account of those shares will come on Wednesday. Okay. So on Monday, the day which the transaction took place, the trade took place, that is T day. Okay. Then Tuesday is T+1 and Wednesday is T+2. So you always get the delivery of shares on T+2 if you buy the shares, and similarly if you are the seller. So let's say you sold 10 shares of Reliance for 25,000 rupees on Monday, but the money you will get it on Wednesday. Okay, so that is when you sold it on T, the money you will get it on T+2 in your account. That will come to your account in T+2 day, right? So okay, now the small confusion which I would like to clear here itself. So what if some like we discussed that Monday is T, Tuesday is T+1 and Wednesday is T+2. Right now, if you took the trade on Tuesday, so it will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and similarly. Now, what if one of the days is holiday? So it will shift to the next day. Let's say you took the trade on Wednesday, or let's say that you took the trade on Tuesday. Okay, but Wednesday is a holiday, so it will be Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Or if Wednesday is a holiday, so let's say Thursday is a holiday, so it will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, so now first let us understand. Okay, so these are the three important accounts I had explained to you in the second video of this series as well, but I would like to touch upon them again here. So these are the three important things whenever you are placing a trade. So first is trading account. You need a trading account in order to place a trade that, okay, I want to buy 10 shares of Reliance, I want to buy 10 shares of TCS, or I want to sell 10 shares of whichever company, right? So to place the buy or sell order, you need your trading account. Second is your Demat account. After you buy, well, where will those shares be stored? That will be stored in a Demat account. Or even if you are selling the shares, so you would already have those shares which you would be selling. So you would have them in your Demat account stored in a digital format, right? And the third is obviously bank account. So bank account is for transferring the money from your bank account to the trading account so that you can buy and sell the different shares. So now keep these three things in mind before going ahead. So trade, money, and shares. So first of all, the trade needs to happen. So I placed a buy order and someone else placed a sell order at the same price. First thing is trade, the transaction. Second thing is transfer of money. So I'll transfer the money will be transferred from buyer to the seller and the shares will be transferred from seller to the buyer. So these are the three important things: trade, money, and shares. Now let's discuss what goes at the back end for each one of them. Okay. Now the first thing is trade. Okay, so you know that by now that we place a trade on the National Stock Exchange or on the Bombay Stock Exchange. But NSE or BSE cannot handle these transactions alone. So it appoints some trading members. Okay, so what these trading members do is they collect your orders. So whenever you place the order that, okay, I want to buy 25 shares of Reliance, or someone else will say that he wants to sell 25 shares of Reliance. So these orders will be collected by trading members. And here there will be an automatic matching system. Okay, now let's say I am placing an order to buy 10 shares of Reliance, but someone else wants to sell 20 shares of Reliance. So the quantity also needs to match, right? That the buyer is buying 10 shares and the seller is also selling 10 shares. But in this case, the seller wants to sell 20 shares. Now 10 shares, I am buying it, but the 10 shares, someone else also needs to buy it, right? So these matching of orders and the price also needs to be same, okay? So he's selling 20 shares, let's say for 2500, and I am ready to buy 10 shares or 2500. But the another 10 shares, they also need to be bought at 2500 because the seller is selling at that price, right? So the price and the quantity, both of them should match. There can be multiple sellers, multiple buyers. So if you are a buyer, you can buy it from multiple sellers. If you are a seller, you can sell it to multiple buyers. That's possible. So this whole matching system will happen through the stock exchange. So you will just place an order that I want to buy. Finding a seller and all that, matching the price and quantity, that all will be done by the stock exchange. So what is the role of the trading member is to collect your order. That okay, this person wants to buy 25 shares of Reliance at this price. Okay. Next thing is this, which is clearinghouse. Clearinghouse is needed for transfer of money. So now the money will be obviously transferred from buyer to the seller, but they won't interact they won't interact directly. So let's say I placed an order. We'll continue the same example. Okay, so the example which we'll continue in this video is I am buying 10 shares of Reliance and someone else is selling 10 shares of Reliance. This same example will continue and we'll understand how the process works. Okay, so now I placed the order for 10 shares of Reliance and the order got confirmed. So now first I won't know that whom I have bought the shares from. Okay, and similarly the seller won't know that who bought the shares from it. Okay, now I'll transfer the money to the seller, but it won't happen directly. So here comes clearing members. Okay, I'll explain you further in this video. There are something known as clearing accounts in a bank. So first the money will be transferred from my account in that account, then it will be transferred to the clearing account of the seller, and from that it will go to the seller's account, right? In that way the money will be transferred. So clearing houses basically, and the clearing members are basically needed for the transfer of money. So if you know something about the banking system also, so whenever there is a transaction through a check, so in that also the clearing and all process takes time. So similarly here also the money, the process, so transferring the money from the buyer to the seller, it takes time of 2 days, which I explained you, T+2 days, right? Now the third thing is depository participant. So first of all was trade. So the transaction needs to match, the seller and the buyer needs to agree at the same price, the quantity should match, all of that was done by the trading member. So the trading member collects the order, just the matching system is done by the NSE and BSE. Next is the transfer of money. So the three things which I told you, trade, money and shares. We understood about trade, we understood about money. The third one is shares. Now the shares will be transferred from the seller to the buyer. Now again here they won't be transferred directly. So here comes depository participants. So I explained to you the concept of Demat account. You know that the shares are stored in Demat account, but these Demat accounts are on the depository. Okay, so now the shares, so I am buying 10 shares of Reliance from someone. So those 10 shares will be transferred from Demat account of the seller to the Demat account of the buyer. But these all intermediaries will come in between, and there is a whole process of it, right? Now here are some important names which you should know. So first of all, the names of the two stock exchanges, which is NSE and BSE. So NSE is National Stock Exchange and BSE is Bombay Stock Exchange. Now let's come to the depositories. So NSE and some other banks have promoted NSDL, which is the depository, and BSE and some other banks have promoted CDSL. Okay, so NSDL and CDSL. Next, coming to the clearing houses. So NSE has its own clearing house, which is NSE Clearing, and BSE has ICCL. Okay, so the names of the stock exchanges, NSE and BSE, names of the depositories, which is NSDL and CDSL, and the names of the clearinghouse, which is ICCL and NSE Clearing. So you understood that we need a clearing member, we need a trading member, and we need a depository participant. So the three important things which I told you, I'll repeat it once again: trade, money, and shares. So first of all, the trade, the transaction should happen. After that, transfer of money, and after that, the transfer of shares. These three things are important. Now, the easy part for you here is that you just have to open an account with your broker. So these three roles which I told you, the clearing member, trading member, depository participants, all of these three roles are performed by your broker. So your broker is a clearing member, your broker is a trading member, and he is most probably a depository participant also. Not most probably, he is. Okay. So for most of the companies, all of these three roles are performed by the broker, and even if they're performing, let's say, two roles out of this, so the third role they will outsource it from a company. So for you just have to open your account with your broker. So I'd introduced you to Upstocks, right? It is a broker which I use. So you can see their website, you can check their app. I'll leave the links in the description. You can check them out. So Upstocks, Zerodha, Edelweiss, if you have heard about these. So these companies are basically brokers, right? So there's one broker of the buyer. So the buyer has opened his account with some broker, and the seller has also opened his account with some broker. They might be same, they might be different, doesn't matter. Okay. Now let's come to the important part of this video, which is T+2. So I told you, right? So if you buy land shares today, you won't get the shares today itself. You will get it after 2 days. And similarly, if you are selling, so you won't get the money today itself. You will get it after 2 days, not after 2 days. So if you are placing the trade on T, so you'll get it on T+2. In T+2, the money will be credited to the seller's account and the shares will be credited to the buyer's account, right? So transfer of money from buyer to seller and transfer of shares from seller to buyer. Now let's understand how this works. So let's understand the T+2 mechanism. Another important thing before that. So all of this, so clearinghouse, stock exchange, depository, the brokers, all of this is regulated and monitored by Securities and Exchange Board of India, which is SEBI. So like we have RBI for the banks, we have SEBI for the stock market. So SEBI monitors everything. So there's no, so people have doubts that is this all safe? Will I get my money and all that things? So SEBI monitors everything, and everything is trusted and everything is fully regulated. Okay, in the stock market, there's no such thing that you sold your shares but you didn't receive your money or something like that. It doesn't happen. Okay. So now let's come to the main topic of this video, which is T+2 settlement cycle. Now I know that this looks complex, but just bear with me for a few minutes and I promise you that this will become super easy for you. Okay. So now the trade has already took place. The buyer and the seller both have agreed at the same price, right? I told you. So the transaction has already took place through the matching system of the NSE and BSE. Now there are two important things which need to be transferred. The first is money. So money needs to be transferred from the buyer's account to the seller's account, and the shares, they need to be transferred from the seller's account to the buyer's account. So now these are some intermediaries and some accounts in which come in between. So for making these two so transfer of money and transfer of shares. So let's understand each of them. So first let's understand about money. So the day the trade took place, that was the T day. So on that day, 25,000 was deducted from the buyer's account. Okay, on the T day, 25,000 rupees was deducted from the buyer's account. So we are taking the example of Reliance, and we are taking the example of 2500 rupees per share and 10 shares. So 2500 per share and 10 shares, so that is 25,000 rupees of investment. So on the T day, 25,000 rupees was deducted from the buyer's account and 10 shares were deducted from the seller's account. Okay, on the T day, 25,000 minus from the buyer's account and minus 10 shares from the seller's account. The next day, that is T+1, this 25,000 rupees will go to something known as a clearing account. So I told you that the broker is a clearing member. Okay, so like we have normal banks like ICICI, HDFC, SBI, right? So there are something known as clearing banks. So these clearing members have their accounts with the clearing banks. Okay, so what will happen is, first this 25,000 rupees will go from my account to my broker's account, to my broker's clearing account. Then from my broker's clearing account, it will go to the seller's broker's clearing account. Okay, let's take it slow. From the buyer's broker, okay, so let's take the buyer's broker as, so there are two brokers, one from the buyer's side and one from the seller's side. So the buyer's broker is Upstocks, let's say, and the seller's broker is, let's say, Zerodha. So first the 25,000 rupees will go from the buyer's account to the, so okay, let's take it. So first on the T day, 25,000 rupees were deducted from buyer's account and 10 shares were deducted from the seller's account. The next day, those 25,000 rupees will go to Upstocks clearing account. So from my account, it went to the Upstocks clearing account, to my broker's clearing account. Okay, and these 10 shares, they went to Zerodha's pool account. So like we told you, in the clearing bank, there are clearing accounts. So in the depository, each broker has so the broker is a depository participant. So each broker has a pool account. Okay, so 25,000 rupees went from the buyer to the Upstocks clearing account, and 10 shares went from the seller to the pool account of Zerodha. Okay, on T+1. So now these 25,000 rupees are lying in the clearing account of upstocks, and those 10 shares are lying in the pool account of Zerodha. Now on the T+2, they will be transferred from the first. Let's talk about money. So that will be transferred from the clearing account of upstocks to the clearing account of Zerodha, and from the clearing account of Zerodha to the account of seller. Okay. So I thought I confused both of them. Let's first talk about only money. So the first day is T, 25,000 rupees deducted from the buyer's account. Okay. T+1, 25,000 rupees which were deducted from my account. Now they have reached my broker's clearing account on T+1. On T+2, from my broker's clearing account, they went to the seller's broker's clearing account, the 25,000 rupees, and from there it reached the seller. So at the end, the money which was deducted from my account on T+2, it reached the seller. Now let's go for the shares. So on the T day, the shares were deducted from the seller's account. T+1, they will be credited to the pool account which is in the depository of the seller's broker, which is, we have taken the example of Zerodha. T+2, what will happen is, from the pool account of the seller, they will come to the pool account of the buyer, and from the pool account of the buyer, they will come to my account. Okay. Let's repeat it once again so that it's super easy. Okay. So first is T day, minus 25,000 rupees from my account and minus 10 shares from minus 25,000 rupees from buyer's account and minus 10 shares from the seller's account. So now on T+1, these 25,000 rupees will reach the clearing account of upstocks, that is buyer's broker. Those 10 shares will reach a pool account of Zerodha, so pool account of seller's broker. Now on T+2, the main transaction will take place. So the 25,000 rupees which had reached the upstocks clearing account on T+1, now they will be transferred to Zerodha's clearing account, and the shares which had reached pool account of Zerodha, they will be transferred to upstocks pool account, and from there they will be transferred to me, and the money will be transferred to the seller, right? So this was the whole process. This happens on T, minus 25,000 rupees and 10 shares. Then it is the money goes to the clearing account, and this goes to the shares go to the pool account of the broker. Next, interchange. So from buyer's broker to the seller's broker, and so the buyer's broker is upstocks and the seller's broker is Zerodha. So from upstocks clearing account to the Zerodha clearing account, money will go, and from the Zerodha's pool account to the upstocks pool account, shares, and from there it will go to the buyer, and this will come to the seller. If you didn't understand this, you can pause this video, you can watch this again, but I tried to explain this in a very simplified format and with the help of these graphics. So this is why, so the buyer I hope it makes sense to you, right? So the buyer which had bought 10 shares of Reliance, he will get those 10 shares in his account on the T+2, and the seller who had sold his 10 shares of Reliance, he will get the money on T+2. Right, so this was the whole concept of T+2, a mechanism of how it works in the stock market. So now just keep this thing in mind every time. So whenever you buy the shares, you will get those shares on T+2, and whenever you sell the shares, so the money you will also get it on T+2. So that was all I had in today's video about T+2 settlement. I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.